Well, welcome back to Flying with Mike. We are ready for another day here after a little trying morning, but we'll just keep at it looking for jobs. But anyway, we're back at it. We're here to fly for you, but you're going to be flying with Mike in the process. We want to help you out with questions about the Sims. Sim. I'm only versed in Sims up to FSX, not beyond, as well as 11 and 12 for X-Plane. And primarily that's what I fly, X-Plane 11 and 12. But enough about me, folks. Today's flight, we're going to be, as you can tell, we're going to fly Twilight out in actually an event I didn't realize called Kastrup. Bear with me a second. Dashboard. Vectors to Copenhagen. I guess Copenhagen every Monday. This is the second one I've been on. Has an event. Starts around 17Z. Fully staffed. And by that I mean you're going from delivery all the way to center. So this ought to be fun if we can get out while the event is still on. We're pushing a little late today. A whole bunch of variables pushed us a little bit. I'm going to try to start up. I can actually say this now, folks. I'm going to try to start up at about 1 o'clock Central U.S. time, which is about, if I'm doing the math right, 1800 Zulu? I think I did the math right. It's -5 or +5, however you do that to go to the United States. But anyway, that's what we're doing today. We're in Copenhagen. We're on stand A11, I believe it is. And we're not on VATSIM right now. There is a whole lot of traffic. I don't want to bog anyone down. Frame rate rise, because folks, this place is hopping. You're going to see that in a moment. So let's, without further ado, I forgot to tell you where we're headed on this first flight. That's right, we're going to try to get a minimum of 2 flights in a stream now, and maybe a third, depending how short the hops are. So we'll see. Got some constraints I'm personally working with to try to beat, which could push us even earlier, but with job hunting and all, I don't want to take away from that. So, all right, so today is Copenhagen to Bergen, Norway. ICAO for Bergen is Echo, November, Bravo, Romeo. For those of you that have no idea what I just said, ENBR. We use phonetics because B's and D's sound close, N's and M's sound close. The rest of it you can figure out. So that's why the phonetical talk. All right, so let's hop up in here. Let's show you why, my opinion, this is the best 737 out there for flight simming. Hopefully, I won't eat my words. Last time we flew it, there was a crash to desktop about 10 minutes, 15, 20 minutes out. We were in our descent when it happened. Think it's weather related with the all the updates going on with X-Plane 12, but we'll find out. So hopefully we're getting close to getting out of commercials here, and we'll get this rolling. But to the subscribers and those who've been gifted, folks, you don't get to see the ads. We're so thankful for your support. And I hope this little help in not seeing ads will help you to stay with us. And I hope I can improve or make the flights and content even more than what you expect. That's my goal. All right, so got about 30 seconds here, folks. So I'm going to go ahead, bring up Sim Toolkit here So when they come out of the break, we get right in this and get right on our way to Bergen. I've heard about this airport from a couple of other streamers out there. Not sure what we're going to run into, but this ought to be fun. You know, those are the kinds of flights I kind of like. So, but folks, if you think you've missed anything, head over to our YouTube channel and check it out. So, they should be coming out of break right now. Welcome back, followers, and those just tuning in. We sure appreciate you. Just put in the chat our YouTube channel. You haven't really missed much on this flight yet. We're just getting ready, as you can tell, to go to flight plan. But if you think you did because of the commercials, well, two options. One, head over to our YouTube channel, kind of find what you think you missed, or two, feel free to subscribe to Flying with Mike. I realize I don't push that, and I'm not gonna push that, but it is an option for you if you want ad-free viewing. So, and we at the channel would appreciate it to help us in paying it back to you in purchases, be it aircrafts, scenery, peripherals for the cockpit to help us or control the aircraft. All right. All right, so like I said, going into break, Zibo is the aircraft we're flying today. Let me get in the cockpit, see if that helps the noise. Did a little. And we're going to get into flight planning, this little run up to Bergen. All right, so all you do, now I'm using Sim Toolkit. Now I know there's Volanta out there. I don't know if Volanta does this. So, you know, if it does, great. If it doesn't, something to think about here. By the way, this too is free, and I don't think there's anything in it that you would have to pay for, as I do know Volanta has some features that are part of a premium package. Again, don't know much about it, so I don't want to say much other than that's your two platforms. I like this one. I think it's phenomenal in helping you figure out, where am I screwing up? And two, how do I get from Copenhagen to Bergen? By the way, where is Bergen? So things like that, the big questions of the day. All right, so let's go to the advanced planner. We're taking off here from EKCH Copenhagen Kastrup, headed to, hopefully I get it right. Oh, look at that. He got it right on the first try. Did I have a flight plan number planned for this one, or does it matter? That's the million-dollar question. I hate when I can't find what I'm looking for. There we go. All right, hang on a second, folks. Head over to here. All right, and head over to here. Just got a couple screens I forgot to take care of before we started in on the flight. All right, sim brief. NAX. I don't even know if that's the correct call letters. SAS, SAS. All right, well, we don't have to select a real world flight, folks. It just gives you the option. Oh, I've got more. Ah, didn't know that. All right, so 960, I wouldn't know. So we'll just search our fleet for what was it? SERXA. There we go. That looks good. All right, and so we're going to be a call sign of NAS, and okay, that'll work. 572. 572. 1955. 25. I'm going to push a little bit into the 20s. Let's go 20, 20. Whoa, forgot the 0. We're going to be in. Now, folks, you remember me telling you about flight plan formats? Now, if you do LIDO, that's pretty simple, helps you out in a couple. I like to go to different ones. One, see if you got one for the plane you're flying. I don't really see one. However, I like this one a lot. And it's one, I learned of it by American Virtual that I fly with. Very realistic in their operations. And they've gone so far, and I'll show you that here in a second, to include the infamous infant lap kids that we call them. Gosh, I think they're going to eventually put pets because of how many pets are now flying on these flights. Don't quote me yet, but I do know they do take inventory of that now at gates, some of the airlines. So we'll see. All right, we'll put 20 in there, 10 on the taxi in. I don't know how many. We don't care about the departure runway or that, so long as it's the right one. Same with the routing, cost index. I think we'll go auto on that and the altitude. So all you did here, folks, is put your destination in, your start, your destination, your aircraft, your call sign you want to go by, time you want to. Didn't I change that? Oh, I know what happened. How about we go? Let's do it. I think I could do it. 2015. All right. Yeah, it changed. I know what it did. When we went to the advanced format here for all of this lovelies, that's what it did. All right. Generate the flight plan. Basically, folks, what I just did, you could have done right down here with this tab. I put that tab in there. That doesn't come with Sim Toolkit. Or you could have done it on the web. It's a little bit of what I like to call one-stop shopping. Now, if you have the SimBrief downloader, and I do recommend it, I would recommend using it to put your stuff, put your flight plans in, because with Zibo, hang on a second, I'm always looking to see if any of these inner windows open up. They did on Xbox or Xpilot. You can then take the experience of Zibo the next level, and I'll show you that here. All right, so it is loaded, I hope. We'll find out real quick. So here's the basic flight plan. So we're going to go with a call sign of, oh gosh, what does it go by? That's the one thing I didn't look up, folks. Hang on, I can get to it, I think, real quick. NOZ call, better yet, air. Some of these have some interesting call signs. That's why I want to make sure I get it right. Nordic. So we're going to go by Nordic. Kind of makes sense since we're in the Nordic area. Like I said, some make sense. Cactus kind of made sense with America West. There's a couple out there, folks, that'll blow your mind away. Don't get me trying to quote them because I don't. All right, so we're going 434 miles, about an hour and a half flight. So we'll go fly now. Then we come to what you're used to. You're like, oh my gosh, it's Europe. Welcome to Europe, folks. This is our time here in St. Louis is 2:30. Call it Central Daylight Time. So you know it's at least 5 to 6 hours difference in most of these regions here. So we're at the tail end of their prime time, what I call prime time flying. You know, if you go to your TV, it's called prime time right now. Don't know if you guys in Europe call it that or not. but it's where most of your big TV shows go out. Here in the US, you know, your big shows like, I'm not even going to go into them. I don't want to favoritize you, but anything from the 7 o'clock, which would be 8 o'clock Eastern, to the nightly news at 10 o'clock, those 3 hours are prime time for TV. Same thing occurs with the VATSIM. These people are home from work, just wanting to kick back, relax, and fly a flight. So here's where we're going to be, folks. Now, the neat thing here, and I'm doing it intentionally, I want to see if anyone's in my parking spot. I don't like spawning into their spots. Some people do. They think it's fun. Oh, look at me, man. I'm sitting in a 747 in a Cessna. No, I'm actually sitting under it. But anyway, and it's going to open up the nose and gobble you up. But anyway, but some people do have their fun with it. I rather not. I'll move off just to not worry about it. But this is one way you can do it. Similar, you can come right down. You don't get a nice map like this telling you spots, but you can get an idea. Somebody on, if you've got one of these greens on top of you, someone's in that spot. Respectfully, you should find another spot if they're there first. Respectfully, they should too if they come in on top of you. But that's, you know, that's a whole nother, you know, we could go on a tangent on that, but we want to get flying. All right, so here we go, folks. So in that generic setup of a flight plan, dispatch has handed us this. Here's what we got. Payload of 31,190 pounds. We're going to have a zero fuel weight of 125,969 on the pound, so 126,000 roughly pounds. They're going to put 13,900, roughly 30 pounds of fuel on us. So when we start our taxi, we should be roughly around 39,900. So how did that break down in the payload? Well, there's 133 peeps daring to fly with Mike, 600 pounds of cargo. Our route is super simple, yet we're going to do it where it's automated almost. Almost. Big word, almost. The GOLGA 3 Alpha departure to GOLGA, BADAB to BADAB to November. Planning 4 right, landing 17. All of this subject to change en route. 38,000's our hopeful cruise altitude. We should be able to get up to it, and a cost index of 35. Not a bad flight all in all, folks, really. Okay, let's move over to the weather. All right, because Copenhagen is up on VATSIM, because they have an ATIS, guess what? We have an ATIS here to read. However, the big news is winds are out of the east at 8. Temperature 17 degrees, muck-luck weather. Oh, wait, Celsius. 62 degrees. Wear your muck-luck today, folks. You might sweat a little bit. And it's not because of how tough the approach is. All right, so again, and down here they're saying, what are they saying? Stand by. NCD, no, I think that means no sky condition. We're going to find out rather quickly. Of course. The one time I really want it to tell me, let's see, it doesn't tell me. Boy, it didn't do anything. Well, nothing significant, so I'm thinking we have a clear sky. No clouds determined. I don't know, NCD. Usually when I go into the METARs at my nav graph, they break down the METAR completely, but not in this case. So anyway, the current ATIS is Fox, runway for takeoff. You got to put a space in there, guys. For right. Okay, 80 or 080 at 9. There's our METAR again. First contact with apron control. I think we have apron, but I think they're meaning ground. We'll find out. Advise if able to perform a customized pushback. Intersection Bravo 1 to Bravo 4 available. Then that was your departure, and again, it is Fox. Write that on my little piece of paper. Make sure, folks, you keep a piece of paper. All right, heading up to Bergen, ENBR. Well, the winds, wow, right down the runway at 6. A little warmer up there, 66 degrees Fahrenheit. Muck luck at 19 Celsius. Again, you might sweat a little bit. And just a beautiful day. METAR-wise, so you all can get a feel for how this is read. 170 at 6 is the wind, okay? However, it is variable from 140 to 200. So at 6 knots, clear and visibility okay. 19 degrees, we saw that here. 2, we saw that there. Altimeter right there. No significant weather, so they say, and then the winds 112 up to 1200 feet, 180 at 4. So basically the winds are out of the south. So that's our weather report, folks. Whoops, clicked on the wrong one. Let's go here. I'm going to get my VATSIM put in. Not certain they're going to remain, because like I said, folks, we're getting at the tail end of this. Who knows? We had them last time all the way. Maybe they'll bless us again. Just got some information I got to stick in my flight plan to help the controller to know, can he land in severe clear? Probably not. Do I need to do an auto land? What are we flying under? NOZ. And we are a C Charlie performance aircraft. And 38, they're okay, we're good. Let me file this. Oh, 2015. Yeah, we're still good for it, I think. You know what? Let's pad it, 25. Just in case we can't get the early out of here. Flight plan is filed. I am not going to worry about that because it's just going to be way too noisy, folks. We'll keep it off for now. We'll come up when we get closer. All right, so there we go with Sim Toolkit. Now let me show you a couple features real quick, and then we're going to get into this because we got to get into this. Okay, as you can see, the big one I really like. If you get somewhere and you don't have NavGraph charts, which is what that is, but anyway, you can zoom in. They tell you to taxi via Alpha to Yankee to Mike to Alpha, whatever I'm on, 11, I think it is. There you go, folks. Pretty simple. Very cool. Of course, when you have all the, look, there's your 4 right departures. You can see them lining up for it. So my anticipate departure will be possibly Mike to Yankee to Alpha to Charlie, whoops, to Bravo, Bravo 1 for takeoff. That's how I envision this. See if I even get in the ballpark. All right. Okay, but like I said, I have NavGraph here. I have SkyVector. Now, if you are gonna fly US and pretty much stay in the US, I highly recommend SkyVector. All the charts for the 48 states are there, plus Alaska, Hawaii, and some of the territories the US has. They're free, they're there, they're usable. Not the greatest, but hey, that's what most people fly on. But if you want to increase your level, I highly recommend going to charts. And that has to go. That's the last flight in here. All right, so here you go, folks. Now, I'm in Europe. I can just click a port, sim, and find my flight, and boom, here we go. 4 right, 17. All I got to do is select an approach. Here's how I was finding the weather out. Tells me my weather, how long ago, and if there is a real world ATIS, ATIS being the Air Terminal Information System, that's what the airport is reporting, in this case, 23 minutes ago, and it's off VATSIM. VATSIM is, like I said, from delivery all the way to center. So they will begin powering back. I don't know how long this is, but it shows you both the departure and the arrival. Departure is now Gulf, I think, as of 24 minutes ago. Gulf. Okay, and there's the routing, folks, you can see. So we're going to go from here to here and then hit our route for 17. All right, pretty simple. And that's now, you're still going, so I still don't have the charts. What's this? That's our arrival into Bergen. Here's our departure out of, yeah, you have your departure charts, which means if you have those charts, folks, we can then get in here and select what do we want to fly into Bergen. What I like to do first, let's see what the chart says. The chart says we're on, okay, BADAB to November, BADA to November, runway 17 RNAV arrival. So what that's telling us, folks, one, we're going to fly, it looks like an arc, come into Gilva. Let's look and see, first off, what an RNAV looks like if they come off Gilva. This kind of sidesteps us over. Let's see what the Zulu does. Okay, it kind of brings us into Bablu and then in. Okay, so we're seeing that. Well, let's go take a look at the ILS, which probably isn't much different. See, Gilva, and then we're on the ILS. So if we want, we can kind of zigzag our way in, or we can just take the ILS. Yeah, you know what? I'm kind of up for this one. Gilva, how far out are we? When I hit 404, we're 3.5 miles out. So with the weather we've got today, procedure available only at ATC discretion, because they like you to be on that ILS, because that way you don't go around. Add, and then you add it to the route. So look, folks, now I have my arrival routing. Don't think I might cut that DME arc off. And our departure as well. So, and that's all of your, folks, that's everywhere. So that's why I recommend charts. Now, you can hunt and peck out there on Google or whoever you use to search to find them. If you are trying to find them for free, my suggestion is look to the VATSIM center controllers, or like VAT Europe, or VAT, for the region, VAT USA, but try to get more down to the center. You'll have better luck. So that's the only other option, and I'm not going to tell you they're easy to find because they're not. So, but anyway, you see how we did that. We're all set up. I'm going to go ahead and do this. All right, that's enough on the flight planning. Let's get into the rumble and get this bird flying. Hang on a second. Now you can still run, by the way, that NavGraph charts standalone, meaning the desktop. You download it from NavGraph and put it there. What I did was put the link in my Sim Toolkit so that it would reference it. I just want to put that RNAV on the desktop one. I think we said this one. Yes. All right, that way I can find it real quick. All right, there we go, folks. Now we are flying. Let me show you one more thing before, well, actually, we're heading in the right direction. If you need to find out what version of ZIBO you're flying, and folks, the reason I say this, for all I know, there's another update since Friday. They come that quick. So what's recommended, fire ZIBO up, click the question mark, there's your current release right now. So I'm on 4.01.22. So it just a quick look, it's called Skymatic, I believe, Skymatrix, Matix. They're the site to go to for the latest and greatest, and we are still on version, I call it 22. All right, also, real quick, before we start this up, folks, currently working on a schedule. It's going slow because I'm doing more and more flights a day now. And I'm trying to truly stick to that 1800 Zulu start. So that helps our European followers as well as our US followers. We're going to try to fly 5 to 6 hours a day. We're going to try. Can't guarantee every day I can because, again, I am in the market for a job. So, all right. So, with all of that, I am in Discord, so feel free to drop in the Discord link. I don't know if it's come up lately, but there it is. I want to do a quick look at my chat, and then we're going to get into this. Don't want to hold you guys up that may have popped in and said howdy. So I'm going to go ahead, snooze this for 5 minutes, the next ad break, and we're going to press on. All right, remember what I told you. We're loading this so that the aircraft does a lot of this automatically for us. In essence, kind of like the real world. When you pull into the gate, all of a sudden the rampies swarm the plane. Well, okay, a couple of them do. And the chocks go in, the external power comes on, the jetway comes in. You've seen all of that, right? You can kind of simulate that without the little people walking around. Whoop, went to the wrong one. Always do that. Click there, click airside. Okay, not active, so let's go over here. Load the OFP. Now, before moving on, check with your sim brief, either Sim Toolkit or actual website. And what I do is just go to my saved plans. Hang on a second. Let me make things a little easier for me to find them in the future. Click View down below where it says, hang on a second, Dispatch History. Look for that flight. Click View. Make sure the numbers first match up. I can tell you, I think they do. If they do, then you've saved it properly. By saving it properly, here's what I mean. Let me pull Sim Toolkit one more time. All right, from Sim Toolkit, I told you I have Sim Brief. Clicking it. Here's where I'm talking about. Come over here to Saved Flights, Dispatch History, View. Again, folks, you can do this on the web, here. However, you can actually do it on your phone if you want. There's an app for it in the stores. So you got a lot of options here, folks. Go up here to downloads. I recommend downloading the SimBrief downloader, and when you do, make sure that you follow where this file goes, because this is going to go right where the little question mark tells you, to your X-Plane Output FMS plans. That is what put that on the FMC. Now, if you have any of these other ones, you can put those in. They'll go, if you set the downloader up correctly to the correct sites. Like rotate has to go actually into the rotate file. There's a user, oh doggone it, user data saved routes. And then just make sure when you come back, you follow that format for them. But for us, it's like any other X-Plane. Actually, you won't even have to. But anyway, once you download it, the downloader, get that set up, you'll be able to do this. What am I saying you'll be able to do? It loaded the OFP. Doesn't matter what format. Click activate, and it's gonna do that. Oh, look out here, folks. And then if we back up a page, it'll tell you the stats. Just for some fun. Oh, I gotta turn, oh, I got the camera, okay. Just for some fun, I turned the camera on. Never can remember which one.
Ground flight deck hose is connected and starting refueling.
I believe it's that side. All right, there you go, folks. Now they're fueling us real quick. The numbers will go up. Now they're starting to do their thing behind us. Those of you with Zibo know that. We got a checklist to do. Let's get after it. All right, battery. Battery switch, standby power guarded, emergency lights guarded, cabin utility, IFE pass seat, all both on, equipment cooling both in normal. Got the no smoking light lit, and we're going to keep the seatbelts off for now. And the AC/DC switch is set to ground. All right, let's head up to the very top part of the overhead. Let's do some quick checks. Can be very hard to hear those. All right, we're going to go into an ad break in, folks. I'm going to let this one run. YouTube, if you want to find out how to get this plane ready to go. Passenger oxygen normal, levels good, EECs are on, reversers off, service interphone and dome lights are off. Test the surfaces, ELT armed because it's guarded. Move the display selector to heading status, folks. I highly recommend that. I don't care what 737 you're using, because what it's going to tell you when you go to align on DC, 9 minutes to align. Once you get the align lights, we can slow down now. It's going to take at least 9 minutes to get this bird ready to go. Okay, and we got 3 green on the landing gear. All right, so now we come down, make sure everything's in its proper places. Fuel pumps are off. Okay. Once we're done fueling, we'll kick on the EPU and start the board. All right, Excuse me, folks. All right, we're just kind of making sure all our window heats are on, probe heats off, anti-ice off. We got our electric hydraulic pumps off, engine pumps on. Doesn't matter, the engines aren't running, so it's not hurting anything. Main door is open, plus our two baggage doors. Everything else looks good. Trim air I've already turned on. Isolation I've already turned off. Bleeds are on. Recirculations are in auto. We said 38,000. Let's put 39 here. And real quick.
Ground to flight deck, fuel is all loaded up and you are good to go.
Awesome. Thanks for flying with Mike. Alright, Navcraft, real quick since I'm here. Bergen is 166. Okay. All right, so probe heat, engines, trim. All right, let's get down here and get our, see, doors open. All right, let's get down here. Put in our basic information. Oh, that's right. I got used to the MD-11. Sorry, folks. All right, plan. I'm gonna set that to 20, our range, and we're gonna bring in charts. Now, this is the standalone version. Okay. Here we go. FMC. Make sure everything is correct. Anytime you update an air... Dave Rendon, welcome aboard, sir. Thank you for being a part today. And I hope you enjoy a couple of legs today. Make sure you always check your nav data. If you update the plane, sometimes it reverts back to a different version. Just go into your updater and update. Position, here lies up. Okay, hang on a second, folks. EKCH. Something tells me I did that wrong. Oh, I got it right. Okay. Now, now for this, the IRS position, I always go to the next page, look at what the day is. Today is an even day, 20. So I'll click the right side for an even day. Click backwards to there. Set it, you're good, go to route, click, and ENBR. Now you don't have to do that, folks, just so you know. All right, so let's, now from here, we're going to be basically just checking our route. All right, so we're going to push flight plan request. And all we're waiting for is it to say load, and then we're going to click on activate. If you notice the error, informative messages that came up, yeah, a lot of stuff happens here. Okay, so you can already see the route. However, let's go to the departure arrival, departure, and let's make sure. So we're going 4 right, GOLGA, GOLGA 3, departure. Okay, in case you're not familiar with it, neither am I. Looks just like this, folks. And we're gonna check it. Route. Now I go to legs, and then we're gonna just click step. Airbus, you would use your up down arrows and of course be a little different. All right. So CH 840, 41, 42, Ergo. GOLGA. Okay, so that all looked good. Now, it's the tough part, folks. Get that Kleenex out, wipe your brow, because this is the toughest part of the flight to make sure you get it right. Next fix is BADAB. And our arrival is already in there. Wait, let me do the... I'm doing the Airbus thing, folks. Sorry. Okay, there's BADAB. Oh. Now, if you want, you can just stay on here because there's your arrival. So Octus, followed by Dibma, followed by Legetta. Click step. Lusap. Then BR 624, 623, 620. Got a 22 in there somewhere. Ooh, we got a couple of things in there. So let's kind of look at this. Here we go. And wherever center is where the screen's centered. So we're centered on 22. Next up should be 20. And then Gilva. Okay, 21. Where's 21 at? Okay, hang on, folks. They threw me a curve. Oh, okay. Okay, so now we're at Gilva. Go to departure arrival. All right, so we're going to be doing, we said the RNAV 17 November, 017 November. Execute. Go back to legs. Yes, you're going to have to work your way through it. I'm going to kind of come up. Bear with me a second, folks. I got it set too high. Let's come down a little bit. There we go. All right, so we'll just step. 22, 2120 Gilva. And then switch this to our RNAV, which is going to be BR 406, 407, 404. Seems like a lot of information here, folks. 407, 404, and then the runway. Perfect. And then our missed approach, folks, if needed, is out to Unzel. And a hold. So that's all in there correctly. Perfect. Perfect. Back. And let me get rid of charts. We'll bring in TopCat to get our performance data. Before we start messing, well, you know what? I am going to kind of make it a little visible, actually. All right. There we go. All right. So, TopCat is a payware piece of software. I use it on the MD-11, the 767, and the 737-800s. It gives me some pretty good information to go off of. So we're going to use SERXA, weight and balance. We do not have it in here. We'll just put it in real quick. EKCH. We're going to EBNR. We did it wrong. ENBR. Fuel on board real quick. Now they're waiting on us, which is never a good thing. All right, fuel on board. We're released with 13. 9.
Boarding is now complete. Flight attendants
to
secure the cabins.
8.
Verify arm door standby
Taxi
for all calls.
fuel should be 500. Trip fuel
Give us a ring if you need anything.
65.97. All right, and then we are running with 133 peeps. All right, how close on to zero fuel weight are we? 125.969 ways to go. Look at that. Wow. 125.969. Thank you, Lord, for putting that right on us. Alternate for today is SVG. Wouldn't you know they... Oh, ENZB. All right, now you've got the basic information in here, folks. Head up here to takeoff. Update your airport. Currently 080 at 8. Variable winds, and everything's looking pretty much the same. So 4 right, 10,833 feet. Got a no slope, so that's easy. Runway heading width. All right, with this information, we know we're dry. How cold? 16, so no anti-ice. All we got to do now, if we have shortenings at either end of the runway or MELs, we click here. There are none available, so we don't have to worry about it. Click compute. And what it did is it computed the best takeoff we can do from here. The neat thing about this...
You love me! You really love me!
Oh, let's see what's going on here.
Hawker 125 just subscribed for 35 months. Hi,
Hawker
Mike.
125.
I'm back again. Smiley face.
Thank you so much, sir. Man, 35 months. Yeah, it's been almost 3 years, folks. We've been streaming. Hawker's been there from the start. We sure appreciate both the rescribe and the always being here and being our moderator as well. Welcome aboard. Hang on a second. Father Time. Yeah, that's one name people have used. And folks, if you do get a chance, head over to Hawker's channel. You never know what he's going to be doing. He could be playing a game. He could be flying the sim. He could be beating the heck out of his drums, teaching you how to do such things. Check him out, folks. But if you're into aviation, he does have a Hawker 125 fuselage in the garage. He will be converting over to a flight sim, so you may want to check in and see if he's started that. So again, thank you, Hawk, for being aboard, being around for these many months. Thank you, sir. All right, so as we were talking about Top Cat, down here's what we're going to use, 43 degrees. Our V1 will be between either 144 or 145. rotate at 145, V2 at 149. Now, here's what I like. It tells us how much runway. If performance in the plane, if the weather conditions match up, that's how much runway will be left. Usually it's not, but I have only a few aircraft that I've come very close to that. So, but anyway, it's just neat to know you'll have 2,712 feet. All right, so let's go back to route. See how well you're all seeing this. Okay, cool. All right, so next thing we have to do here, folks, we've already got all our runways, everything in. Let's go to performance inish. We don't have to put anything because I'm going to do a performance initialization. Means basically what the pilots will do, from what I understand, is whatever, if it's ACARs or whatever, they put in all of the load variables, people, seats, pets, animal, or well, animals could be considered child. No, just kidding. Just kidding, folks. You know, all of that data is put in, sent to the company or to the company's performance people, and then it comes back. And then all we do is click load. And sometimes the execute or activate comes aboard. We're going to go through this and double check everything, okay? All right, so we're looking at 126.0. We're going to have a reserve. Now, how I do that, folks, I'm going to go back to the page before. We have to make it there, okay? If we don't have enough fuel to even get there, why even throw more fuel on the plane? But you got to make it. You got to make it to your farthest alternate if you have multiple alternates. And at that alternate, make 45 minutes of fuel still available in case of other troubles. All right, so you can't really see that here because I don't have the alternate fuel. So what I'm going to do, get rid of this for now. Boink. Bring in charts, because charts will tell us. You're going, what? Yeah, go sim, view your flight plan. Okay, it's right here. This is why I like American. Puts it right in front of you. Now, the LIDO will actually tell you what your FMC reserve is if you use alternate plus reserve. So our alternate fuel takes 3.0. Our reserve is 3.4. That's pretty simple, 6.4. Now you could make it 6.7 because of this 5%. I'm going to keep it 6.4. So let me put that in. Cost index, well, he's trying. 3.5. Now, 380 is our climb or our altitude. Cruise winds will leave, this will leave, and transition altitude. All right, we got the charts up, so let's try it here. I hate it when it says set by ATC. Oh, that doesn't help us one bit. But in this case, it says 5,000. That's good. One last check, though. Let's go to the departure page, or to the departure ATIS. See if they have a transition level. Folks in Europe, you could go from Copenhagen to EKCH. I don't know the name of the airport right off the top of my head. There could be 2 different transition levels. Germany is well known for that. So always check the ATIS, either on sim or a sim aware or somehow, because they love to change it. And I know there's criterias involved, so I don't know. But right now, I don't see any mention, even checking the arrival. Yep, nothing in there. So we're going to go with 5,000. go to N1 limits. All right, let's get Top Cat back in here. Top Cat's there. All right, let's go back to takeoff. Update one more time. Could have had a different update, a different METAR. Okay, we're good. Update with a compute. All right, so to fill this N1 out, we've got to have a select temperature. We got to know our takeoff 1, 2, or just flat out takeoff. And then our climb. Now, you're not getting the climb out of this, but up here it says takeoff 2. Boom. Select temperature 43 degrees. We'll put that up there. All right, and we'll give it a second. A lot of times it'll give you what it recommends. We'll go with it. It'll become active when we start our climb. Go to takeoff, click CG, go to the next page, put in the runway winds. Our case 080, just like you see it, diagonal 8. Many people don't go to this page. I do, just for that added little bit that I know I've done everything. Okay, there's no slope. So to simply bypass it, click runway headings right there, 037. And folks, you are ready to go. Now, if we had a wet runway or contaminated, we can click, click, click. We can change this if need be. Our select, again, was 43 degrees outside air temperature. Right here, or right up here on the top of your ECAM, folks. All that's good. Click next page. Now, all we got to do, finish up the deed. Flaps 1. Pretty simple. How much extra time did that take, guys? Not much. But look at the speeds. The QRH is a quick what the system says. Now, verify with what the company gave you in ACARS. In our case, 144. Looks good. It's between 144 and 145. 145's rotate, 149's V2. Folks, that is perfect. Click and click. And then I do this down here to get rid of them. So V1 for today's flights, 144, 145, 149. And folks, we are just about ready to go. Now you can do other things on here, folks. Feel free to. I don't. I take up enough time just getting what I got in there. But I will set this one to legs, click execute, and there we go. All right, you can see now it's dark. So what's left on the checklist? I think we have an APU to fire up. Yeah, they boarded without it. That's fine. Okay, so one too high, got used to the MD-11. Turn it on. 1, 2, and hold it for 3. You'll see the needle start to rise here momentarily. Basically, it's opening the flap, and then it'll start doing what a jet engine does. Draw the air in, crank it up. While we wait, let's finish things up. So probe heat is off. Anti-ice off. Hydraulic engine hydraulics are on. Electrics are off. Fuel pumps. Get that left one on for the APU. Left aft. Trim air is on. Isolation valve open. Left and right recirculators are in auto. We've got our cruise and we've got our fasten seatbelt sign now coming on. And a route perf N1 trims in. Altimeter is about to be set. APU is still bleed off. And we just got it fired up, so on, and Apu Gen, and bleed on. All right, folks, that takes us up to the final pre-flight. Let's come down here. And hydraulics are looking good right now. Flight director's on. All right, 149. So for my speed, I'll set 159. Heading, we said, was 037. And 38,000, I believe, is our initial climb. Again, we double check with Sim Toolkit. Oh, I'm sorry, with correction. How about we check here, Sim nav graph charts. We're going to find we're headed to 38,000. However, we have an altitude restriction here. Initial climb 070. There we go. We are all set up here. Fuel flow switch is here. We'll go to reset and do a couple quick checks. And last but not least, y'all have never heard any of this.
Light slow. Pull up. Wind shear. Wind shear. Wind shear. Terrain. Terrain. Pull up. Obstacle. Obstacle. Pull up. Airspeed low.
Okay. All right, currently does appear wow, we have a lot of traffic still coming in here. So we have a lot of ATC. Folks, we are ready to connect. Now I'm going to have to run with this for some, and I don't even know if it's going to work, but it seems like I have to have that on now to allow you all to hear ATC. I don't know if it's working or not. All right, so let's connect. We are I may not be able to file this with Millennium. I think I know what I did wrong. If I can't, I can't. No biggie. NOZ 572. All right, and we'll select that one. Here they come. We'll give them time to filter in. There's approach. There's ground. There's a lot. So they are still here. That's fine. We're fully ready for this, I hope. Get my charts set up here. I have no idea what they're talking about, Bravo 1 to Bravo 4. Unless they're talking about taxis. All right. Yeah, we are, by the way, in stand Alpha 11. Oh, you know what I didn't do? What I warned everyone else of. Oh, Lord have mercy. Always make sure when you got these kinds of events, you didn't hop in on somebody. I did not. Thank goodness. Oh, man. I just realized that. All right, folks. So we're ready to go. Currently running. They're still saying Fox here. Centers are popping down left and right. They've been up over 3 hours, folks. All right, well, we're gonna get into the groove here. All right, so let me get down here, make sure my radios are set. All right, what's delivery? Ah, that's the first one to go. Ooh, stuff's starting to drop left and right. So ground has us 121, 6. Okay, we're gonna try the good old sim tool, or not sim, the get on here with maybe I didn't start it as I did. Yep, I did. Dang it. Alright, well, we're not going to be able to log this with Millennium Aviation. That's a bummer. Hang on, folks. Let me take care of that error on my part. Not taking care of it by meaning I'm going to get rid of the flight. Reason being, folks, with this new smart cars they're running, you have to start the sim without being an administrator. Which, for most of us, we normally start up that way. That's one of the bummers. So, alright, so that's gone, and we can get rid of that. Bumper. Alright, so let's do it, folks, shall we? Let's get up here, see first off who's all still here. Great, looks like ground went away too. Boy, if I just sit here and wait about 5 minutes, we might lose them all. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, we sure did. All right, so tower is now, by the time I get to tower, they'll probably be gone. 18,580. And again, folks, I can't slide them. I mean, let's be real.
Or you listen on the frequency. I cannot deal with an aircraft disconnecting and reconnecting 5 times in 1 minute. Are you staying connected or are you leaving the network? Network. Thank you. I fly 588 Papa. After departure, it's gonna be over to departure on over to approach on frequency 118.455. Winds are 080, 8 knots, spectrum between 050 and 110. Runway 04 right, cleared for takeoff.
They just disconnected and reconnected, so I'm not sure if they got your directions.
I fly 588 Papa.
What I fly 588 Papa?
I just gave you departure clearance. Feedback, please.
Roger that, I fly 588 Papa.
Well, here's the problem, folks. and our controller is not understanding.
Delta 1176, can you give me my departure clearance again? Because I didn't hear the last part of it. It got cut off.
Yeah, stand by, cancel it due to him connected in front of you again. Fly 588 Papa, I need a read back, or I'm gonna call a supervisor. I cannot deal with you not answering.
Clear for takeoff from reserve for right provided.
Alright.
I fly 588 Papa, this is your last final call, or I'm gonna call a supervisor. You are unreachable. After departure, it's gonna be over to approach on frequency 118455. Winds are 0808 knots, vector between 050 and 110. On ratio 48, cleared for takeoff.
The problem that guy's probably having is his frame rates are below 20, causing him to disconnect, reconnect, disconnect, reconnect. What he should do is just take off, clear the Copenhagen area, and then either stay off VATSIM or that. That's my guess at the moment, is his frame rates, as we're getting close to 20. I'm telling you folks, this is why sometimes I don't fly VATSIM. It's not because of the controllers. It is because there's so much traffic, and if you throw weather into this, I don't care. Most computers have a hard time. You got to keep it above 20. So that's what happens. I don't even know if that's the guy. That's the guy they're talking about right there. And he's the one causing troubles. So that's the trouble we have here. So and he's bottlenecked the runway.
Delta Delta 1176, don't mind if he reconnects. Winds are 0808 knots, vector between 050 and 110. After departure is going to be over to approach on frequency 119805.
And I think with all this trouble going on here,
and you're clear for takeoff, Delta 11.
I'm going to go ahead because I don't want to get in.
Clear for takeoff on runway 04 right depart, one side depart. The frequency would be 119.805. Clear for takeoff 1176.
There is a ton of traffic inbound. You know, it'd be funny. They all drop. And now everybody's on their own. Anyway, I know, that's wrong. Yep, their start center just went off. Gonna give it a couple more seconds. He is now gone. Delta is not moving. All right, folks, we're not going to waste much more time. There's just way too much traffic. I am going to go ahead, do the right thing here, disconnect. We can reconnect in flight. I don't even know how hard it's going to be to get a clearance because I haven't even heard one try. All right, so let's get this bird out of here. Where are we? All right, so thrust okay. Minimums. Okay, minimums are right here. Correction, that is our barrow. Barrow for the flight is 17. Radio for all right, radio barometer and landing gear levers down, 3 green, spoilers up, flaps 0, 0, and parking brake. In the on position, let's get going, folks. Yaw damper we can actually turn on. The 767, I highly recommend keeping it off till you're on the runway. Reason being, it will keep your rudder from being checked when you do your flight control checks. And I found that on a lot of different sims, a lot of different aircraft. For now, we'll just get rid of that. Let's do it. Beacons on. We're on the autopilot.
Good. So we're planning on a smooth ride. We'll get you there as soon as we can, and as safe as we can. We'll talk to you once we get airborne. Welcome over.
All right, let's get better pushback.
Ground to cockpit, please show me where you want to go.
Bergen.
Ground to cockpit, tow is driving up.
Jetway's away. The only thing left is to pull the chocks. Yep, out of the building, and here he comes. Better pushback. Okay, so for pushback, we need hydraulic pump B, electric on, fuel pumps on.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed, ready to connect.
Copy, pushback facing west. Okay, position lights are steady. Any collision lights on, auto throttle off, left and right packs off. Gotta do this, folks, so you get the pressure needed to start. And as soon as he says go, we can crank him.
So connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
Brakes released.
Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
All right, and again, double checking, fuel pumps on, packs off. We're gonna start number 1. A gasp. Why did you start number 1? Because I want to. All right, what we're waiting for, first off, get back on engine. At 17, we can actually introduce fuel to as high as 25.
Operation complete. Set parking brake.
Brake set.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
Oh, that was sweet to hear. All right, I'll relay the story here momentarily. Disconnecting. Let's get this bird going. Little behind more than I wanted to be, folks. All right, so he's pulling away. Let's get our all right, so
Tow is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the right. We'll see you next time. Have a safe flight.
thanks for flying with Mike. All right, and everything's set. Okay, APU is off. Probe heat on. And again, packs are on. Isolation valve O to auto. And we are ready for taxi. Flaps 1. Taxi lights. We're going to go ahead and follow what would have been our instructions. See how bad it's going there. Boy, it was getting... Oh, even approach has gone down, folks. Yeah, it's not good. Oh no, approach is still up. I take that back. Yeah, he's overloaded. He needs a delivery guy and a ground guy real bad. Okay, and I know you can't necessarily get those. Okay, auto brakes to reject. Flaps are at 1. Runway turn off. Landing lights, we'll extend them here in a minute. And ATCT to TARA. We are ready to taxi. Oh, one last thing I want to check in stand. Surface controls. Now, one complaint I have for Boeing, it's nothing major, folks, and it's not a Zibo thing, it's a Boeing thing. Show it to you here in a second. Those of you familiar with the Airbus layouts, the MD-11 even does this. Your trim. This is that goofy thing I talked about. You got to try to sometimes figure out when it says 5.7. What the heck's 5.7 on here? That's 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Even 6 you're not sure of, because there's nothing up here telling us where it's set. And that's something I kind of wished they would do. Find a way to make that easier. Now granted, don't get me wrong, the Boeing guys out there that fly these planes all the time obviously are not having troubles like flying with Mike is. So I think I'm kind of out-talked there. But anyway, that's what I'm talking about when we have problems here. All right, Nordic 572 taxiing to 4 right. Okay, we'll come out. See where we're headed here. I'm going to go ahead and turn. Okay, and now we're looking for Alpha, and then we'll come off on Charlie, is it, to Bravo? And I know some of you were looking forward to hearing this event, folks. That was just chaos. And when you throw a plane like that in there, oh, it makes things even harder to work through with ATC. All right, so we're coming up to the hold line here. On Alpha, we need Charlie or to Bravo. That should be this one right here. But I think the chaos of that event was just wild. And the sad thing is, once I get to the end of the runway, while the aircraft are still inbound, I think controllers are going to go off because, folks, we're getting close to 10 o'clock out there. All right, we'll get past the runway there. We'll take the next right-hand 10, follow it all the way down to Bravo Uno. But again, welcome in, folks. Thank you for being a part of Flying with Mike. Yeah, sometimes we'll call an audible like that, folks, and just bow out of an event because I'll show you the difference in frame rates. Watch there not be one this time. I'm up to the 50s. That's how hard. My guess is that one airplane was dropping off and on. That's what happens to me in like JFK. When there's a lot of traffic at JFK, which there never is, you know that, folks. Heathrow, especially, and I've been really tempted, although not anymore, but was tempted for the new scenery for JFK. And the reason is not what you think, folks. I think the scenery looks phenomenal. It's right now I can't afford anything. I'm kind of hunkered down, job hunting. So all that money that would go has to go to, you know, supporting the family. However, when you do subscribe, we still make sure that money ends up in Flying with Mike to make the a stream better. Just so you know. All right, so as we taxi down, we're gonna have not sure what's going on. It's kind of weird looking when you look at them at night. Sometimes the lighting throws you off. Echo 2 and Echo 3 shoots off. There's Bravo 3. I want to say some of them were blasting off from Bravo 3. We could. But I'm going to keep on going. Head on down to the end, take the full length. While we're doing that, finish up my checklist. I think we'll do Bravo 2. Alright, final checks. Auto brake is set. Turn off lights are ready. Landing lights extended. ATCT okay. And folks, only thing I have left to do, click, click. And here we go. And Kastrup traffic, Nordic 572 will be departing runway 04 right.
Okay, the cabin is secured. Have a good flight.
Airspeed's alive. 100 cross-checked and good.
D1, rotate. Positive rate.
Coming up with the gear. Okay, we'll let auto take care of us from here. Monitor, cleared. Out to CH 840.
1000.
Okay, now the reason you start your timers, folks, hang on a second. Okay, bear with me. The reason for your timers, sometimes you get a clearance from delivery that'll say climb and maintain 3,000 or 7,000. Expect flight level, in our case, 38010 minutes after departure. Well, when you release your brakes, you punch that timer. When it hits 10 minutes, guess what? You're cleared to make your climb. Yeah, center went down. We'll clear into a whole new scene or into a whole new sector, and it will come on. That would just be wrong. Folks, and I can't speak 100% for that guy as what the cause was of his issue. That's where I start and go from there. Or he's testing controllers. And that's never been unheard of either out here. And that's what the supervisor's for. Okay, there's 5,000 standard. Climb 2. And as we get to certain levels, folks, your N1 will reach the percentage that would facilitate climb 1, and it will what we call wash into the next level, if not all the way into climb. All right, we are going to continue our climb. And on we go. Hopefully the next leg, folks, Barksdale to Altus, Oklahoma, will be friendlier territory with VATSIM. Today it was just not ugly, it was just way too much traffic, and I don't think getting a clearance would be very, I mean, I hadn't heard one yet because of that problem. So they've got a lot to clear out if they don't just go bloop, let the people on the ground clear it out. But anyway, we're on our way, folks, and looking forward to an arrival into Bergen here in about, pretty sure I put it up there. Of course I didn't. That's just, bear with me. Boom. All right, so we're looking currently at 1 hour and 10 minutes. Could drop as we get higher. Right, there's 10,000. Lights off. Lights off. Always check your packs, make sure they're on. Otherwise, you'll have a ghost flight. And I am going to go ahead and turn that down a little. Same with these. All right, we are on our way, folks. The only thing we have left to do is talk through our arrival. First time chat from Mac Creeper. Welcome aboard. That's an interesting handle there. Welcome in. Hope you have a great time. First time chat. Oh. All right, folks, we are on our way and hope to be there now, 54 minutes. So you can see we're building ground speed the higher we get. So, but then we got to come back down, so that'll compensate on the other end. And I keep the heading bug as close as I can just in case there's a discontinuity flying with Mike missed and I start turning back or turning the wrong direction. We saw that with the MD-11 a couple days ago. That took a little bit more than just punch and heading select. All right, so we're through transition. Let me just make sure nothing got missed. Flaps are up, auto brakes are off, and landing lights and all are off. Okay, we're headed for cruise. And that'll be a 50 or so minutes away for an arrival in Bergen, Norway. Like I said, folks, I am going to be respectful here before I come back online. I'm going to either try just clearing the center. I don't want to be rude and come back on now. You know, that would just be wrong. So probably, GOLGA, I think we might be exiting the center. We'll look at it on NavGraph charts here. I think it tells me. Yeah, we'll be pretty close to out of the approach. Of course, once we get to 23, 24,000, we're usually out of that kind of territory. I just don't want to be rude and be one of those that, like that one guy, on and off, on and off, on and off. And I'm pretty sure it'll be something to do with frame rates. That was an unbelievable amount of traffic there. That's the kind of stuff you see at like at JFK, Heathrow, Schiphol down in Amsterdam. That was just like, oh my gosh, what did I just jump into? And I know you all were looking forward to that. They already had problems. I had no idea how long for it to clearance. I sat 45 minutes on the ground in O'Hare once. And man, this is many years ago. And they were flat out not going to talk clearance till they cleared it out. That was 45 minutes later. They were lucky that day I could sit. Happened in Vegas once too. Not getting into the details, that kind of upset me a little bit how the controller was handling that. But I just disconnected and went. It was just way too much, and LA Center can be a little overpowering like that. But anyway, that's what I was seeing there, a good 40-minute wait for a clearance. We don't have that time, folks. We got a second flight I'm hoping to get in. And if we do run out of time, we will reschedule that flight, but I am aiming to put that flight in the air. All right, folks. And again, thank you for being a part of Flying with Mike. If you're liking what you see, hey, we would love for you to follow us. Costs you nothing except for if you click notifications and email that, hey, Flying with Mike is live. Beyond that, folks, that's all it costs you. Thank you so much, and we'd love to have you. Now, if you don't want to see the pesky ads that come up about every 20, 30 minutes or so, you can subscribe. I don't push that, folks. That's your money, your decision to make if you want to support us that way. Right now, I am still trying to keep all of that money that comes in from subscriptions and biddies and donos on the stream. Love to have you as a subscriber, but you have to make that call. That's one of the bennies you get. But again, following, we really do push. We love having you on board as a follower and being a part. But all I can say in the upfront here is thank you for however you support us. Beautiful how you see the disappearing light and the sun in this attitude. Isn't that, I mean, you know what? This is the first sunset or sunrise flight we've done to see that transition. You're right. This is new, folks. I think this is something new coming out of X-Plane. The transition looks really good. Thank you for that, Mac Creeper. Here, let's, I think it's that key. Wow. Hey, thank you for following us there, Mac Creeper. We sure appreciate you. Hope you enjoy your time with us, and we sure appreciate you coming aboard. And for those of you still out there, a little bit about me. I'll try to do it in less than 10 minutes. Just kidding. I am, as Hawker alluded to much earlier in the progress, about as old as Dirt, 59 years old. I do have a private pilot's license. However, I'm not current, and I haven't been current since 1985. Again, see, I'm older than Dirt. However, due to costs, that's why. Come along 1999-ish, 2000, found some time and got back into flying on Flight Sim. Microsoft's Flight Sim 98 or 2000, one of the two. From there, flew Microsoft up into FSX. Flat out loved it, folks. I've been flying the simulators, Microsoft's simulators, since about 1998. In 2020, the infamous year of COVID. COVID had nothing to do with this, but I love saying that. My computer completely ran out of memory. Couldn't even start it. And to some, that will say, well, FSX caused it. No, it wasn't. It was this loose nut behind the control wheel. I just didn't think through the hardware and all that I bought for the computer. Anyway, it ran out. So we bought a new computer, and Hawker kept pushing me to try X-Plane. So I took the plunge and loved it ever since. There's a little bit of a learning curve. Okay, I'll even be honest, a lot of a learning curve, because you're changing key commands and all of your thinkings and how they fly through, you know, how the sim works through the atmosphere. But once you get past that, folks, this to me is as real as it can get. Now, I know there's a couple out there, especially a couple of real world pilots in the sim world, that'll argue it with me, and that's fine. To each their own. But I think you're in the best platform out there. And to top it off, this aircraft, the Zibo 737, just puts the icing on the cake. This is probably the best add-on aircraft, again, flying with Mike's humble opinion, out there. Many reasons. The biggest reason, you don't lose your arm, your leg, your neighbor's arm and leg, and then the other neighbor's arm and leg just to pay for it. It's free. Okay, I'm going to say that again because some of you are getting up from the ground after fainting. Yes, Zibo is free. Cost of admission to X-Plane, can have Zibo. It's a modification of the 737-800 in the sim to give you what you have seen in other versions, and then some. You saw it in the beginning. If you didn't, folks, here's a link one more time to our YouTube channel. Oh, I've flown this plane so many times, folks. I'm sure you can find at least a video or two out there to see what this thing does. But basically, think of it like I said, when you come into the gate, the rampies swarm the plane, chocks on. You're going to see this in Bergen. Chocks on, ground power, jetway, if we have a jetway. I don't even know that yet. Or staircase, come out. And the plane is in automatic mode at that point. They're doing, you know how they do it in the real world. Well, Zibo's doing it for you, so you can run through the checklist and get that plane turned in 40 minutes. Yeah, 40 minutes is what most airlines turn their planes at. 40 to 45 minutes. That's not a lot of time, especially if you're at a hub waiting on a plane to come in with that flight crew to take this plane out. Oh my gosh, you talk about a shuffle. But anyway, that's what brought me into the light of X-Plane. Folks, I loved PMDG. I almost exclusively flew PMDG in FSX. There are a couple of others, but oh my gosh, the Zibo is just unbelievable. Throw in the other makers of Tolus, Fearless, even Flight Factor, folks. I'm not a huge fan of Flight Factor, but they're, for the aircraft they produce, they're right up there. So that's my story, folks. I started streaming about the same time I came to X-Plane. Once I felt comfortable and could get, reacclimated in what I was doing FSX and X-Plane, and it didn't take long. You will also find me in general aviation. I love one of my favorite airplanes out there besides the Queen of the Sky 747-200 Classic. You're gonna laugh. Piper Arrow. How many Piper Arrows can fit in a 747? I'm sure there was a commercial. No. A lot. I love those two are my favorite of all aircraft. So there you have it, folks. You might see the Caravan 727s. I haven't flown this one in a while, the 707-100, which I did not know there was such an animal. And the 767. So I hope you enjoyed the stream. Thank you again, Mac Creeper, for coming on board and following us. And look forward to the rest of y'all joining us. And like I said, if you see fit, we'd love for you to subscribe to us, either with Prime or outright, either way. But again, that's your call. I'm not going to sit here and push it. So all I'm going to push is that is just a dynamite sunset.
Fast to go.
Okay, bear with me on your ears, folks. I'm going to try and intercept it being loud. Oh, look at that almost full moon, folks. Oh yeah, screenshot. I hope you all are getting them too. Wow, I forgot a set of lights. Don't think we need the wing lights, and I think I'll let the people out of their chairs for a little bit. Folks, we got about 30 minutes. Let's dial up, see how far out. Oh good, it looks like we got a little bit of time at top of descent. Alright, so let's quickly move through here. 2 hours, ooh, it's gonna be tough and tight. What I may do is take a break, folks, in the stream, come back later, and we'll fly the 747, because trying to juggle a lot, and we're trying a couple of different things here to try to get more flights in, so that you all can enjoy and, you know, think about purchasing some of what you see here. Well, you can't purchase ZIBO, folks. We've established it's free. But you could purchase maybe the 747 we fly maybe later, the tollless aircraft, the 767. So, you know, those, and the Caravan, and the Arrow, who knows? So, but anyway, we may break it up a little bit just because of needs with the family here. So, but I do thank you all, really, from the bottom of my heart, from being here, and really hope you enjoy the flight into Bergen. I've never been here. Norway, I think Oslo, and I'm not even sure that's Norway. So this is foreign country to me. I have been to Stavanger, which is whereabouts we turn. I think that might even be our alternate. Stavanger? Sola. We'll do Sola. We could do Sola. That's easy. But yeah, we're on our way, folks. Just kind of peeping through who's all out there. Besides Mac Creeper, we've got Hawker 125 at the helm for moderating. and it looks like a few others. So welcome in, folks, one and all. And folks, you have any kind of questions or stuff about aviation, I'll do my best to answer. I've been around it better part of all my life, since about 16, 17 years of age. So I watched pterodactyls with people flying on. Oh, I'm sorry, it's way too far back. But I've seen a lot of change, a lot of stuff in aviation. And like I said, I did get a privates, was working towards an instrument and a commercial, but life at college is life at college. So you know how that goes. And those of you in college, hey, I'm going to give you one tip. If you're in an aviation program, and this is what happened to me, you have a bad intermediate check ride, meaning it's one of those check rides you do to see how you're progressing towards the final check ride for that certificate or rating. If you truly want it, folks, climb back up in that cockpit and go out and get better at it. Go out, learn from your mistakes, and press on. I took it more inward. There were a lot of other things going on in my life at the time. That just kind of one of those things you might call the icing on the cake that hit. And I didn't follow my own advice. Had I, things might be different, good or bad. God has a way of sending us on the right trail. And sometimes those doors he shuts in front of us leads to another door opening that we're supposed, that's the trail he wants us on. That's what he's looking for us on. So even though you may walk away like I did from my dream of being a 747 pilot, and went a different way, I can't complain, folks. The Lord has blessed me with probably some of the best blessings in the world with my family, my wife, my 3 daughters, and now my 3 granddaughters. I can't sit back and say, Lord, why didn't you let me fly? No. The Lord blessed me by, yes, I took the door he opened. So remember that, folks. Just because sometimes life throws you the zinger, like it just did to me last week, watch for the next door to open. That's where God wants you to go. So, all right, folks, so I am going to step away for just about a couple of minutes to use the restroom. I'll be right back, and we'll talk through this arrival. All right, why'd my autopilot disconnect, folks? Who pushed it? Who pushed it? Oh, by the way, folks, I do have the Discord channel open if you all would like to converse there. Just keep the chat to non-bar room type. Don't know the audience we have, folks, and respectful for ears that don't necessarily need to hear the trash talking. I don't know why the autopilot disconnected. All right, let's take a look here, though, real quick. All right, looks like about 80 miles. Yep, 80 miles. This, if I have one complaint now for the mod here, the Zibo, I really wish these would pop out so people like me of age can actually read sometimes the information. And before you say it, Hawker, you're not far away. Just remember, what you say to me comes to you eventually. This century. All right, folks, let me get that bee right back out of here. All right, so let's talk this arrival real quick. We're not going to dig into it too much. Charts. Where are you, charts? There you are. All right, so we're flying the BADAB 2 November arrival, otherwise known as BADA-2N. It's an RNAV arrival. Now, if you follow the instrument charting, first off, you're going to come in at BADAB, Octus, and you got to be above 9,000 feet. Don't think that's going to be a problem. That's where we start our descent, because we need to be, by the time we get to BR 624, 6 to 8,000, maximum speed, folks, max 220. And we maintain that through the arc, 4,000 or higher at GOLGA, and then we go on to the RNAV. Okay, so D8 here. You all know how to get on the D8. Oh, excuse me, here in Europe. I'd love to know. In the US, I've got a link for you. Here, I don't know. All right, let's do this. We don't have an arrival. The METAR is, okay, showing us 130 at 7, perfect for the 17's clear, visibility okay. Winds 1,200 feet, 160 at 10, so we got a little bit of wind shear to deal with. We need to fly TOLUS in here and see if the wind shear alert goes off. All right, you can see, no you can't, it's covered up right now, the nav display. And then we fly the arc to GILVA. From GILVA, we then get on the RNAV, RNIP, Area Navigation Performance, I believe is our, how they get R out of that, I don't know. Approach, tower, and, I'm sorry, director. Again, terminology when you're in a different country, folks. Different territory, I should say. Tower and ground. Now, get the part we concern ourselves with in the briefing strip is right here. RNAV approach, ILS approach would have a frequency here. Final approach course 170. Show that here in a second. And then BR 404. That's right here. Here's where you need to be at 170 at BR 404. That's your final approach course. At BR 404, we need to be at 1300 MSL. Translates to 1,134 feet above the ground. In this case, above the water. So And that being, folks, the airport is 160 or 170 feet above sea level. All right, we'll get the minimums down below so long as we have an RNIP right here of 0.30 or the ANIP at better than 0.30. Okay, we'll get that in a second. Hopefully you've been reading your missed approach. It's real easy. And authorization required, RF required, surveillance required. Baro VNAV not necessarily required, but tells you some more things. Okay, so from Gilva we'll be at 3,800 feet. Okay, descending to our correct 1,300 feet by 404. That's our final approach fix into the runway. All right, so from 406, we're descending to 1,300 feet in steps. Max speeds, you can see we will be nowhere near these, folks. Try to slow this plane down from 210 and 3.5 miles. Good luck with that.
You ain't got it. You got it good.
Oh my, who has joined us? Somebody took me up on the offer.
Hi. How you doing, Mike?
Pretty good, pretty good. Where is my Discord? Oh, there it is. Ah, Duluth. That's who I thought it was, but I didn't want to yell it out and go, someone go, I got offended by that. All right, finally, folks, minimums for our approach. So this is what our METARs have to read. We are index or performance level C. So we need at least 352 feet, either broken or overcast or higher to shoot this approach. We also need at least 900 meters of visibility. This one blows my mind away. That's 3 feet, 900, 3 feet. That's just, that doesn't make sense to me. But the world runs on meters and we don't.
Where are you flying to?
I am flying to Norway. We are about to hit top of descent.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
Matter of fact, I promised I would get back on VATSIM. Oh, it was sounding horrible in Copenhagen where we took off.
Oh, I bet.
Oh no, normally I can handle, some troubles with ATC. This one was, they had a troublesome pilot. By the way, was that you?
Yeah, it might as well have been.
No. They had
I don't
a pilot.
fly overseas, Mike. You know that.
Well, here's the thing. As we all know, the more traffic comes on when you're on VATSIM, it does eventually start affecting frame rates.
Oh, is that what's going on?
Oh, yeah. I think this guy's frame rates were down at or below 20. So every time he came up, he went right back down, pissing the controllers off.
Oh, boy.
And, yeah, it happens, folks. Like I said.
Did they wallop them? Did they end up walling?
I think they got a supervisor on him. I don't know. That's what he kept saying. Whether they did it or not, it's another story. But that, unfortunately, folks, happens, and pilots have to suck it up and realize you just don't. It's just not going to happen today. All right, let's set 6,000. Let me double check that. What are we shooting for? Yeah, 6,000's our low. So hopefully, folks, and by the way, once we get on the ground, oh, we do have jetways. Okay, cool. I wasn't even sure of that. Right there at the end of the runway, too. Cool. So, yeah, we'll find a spot, park the plane, and probably take a quick break before we fire up the 747 and do some U.S. flying. So what's up with you, sir? Besides
Not a
eating
whole
your
lot.
meal.
Ha! How'd you know?
Did you get enough for us?
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
I see how you are. I
You
get
know
those
I am.
Duluth folks. I get it.
Ha!
Guys,
Ha!
from the Canuck area. I got it.
How did you know I was eating? I don't get it. I don't know.
I'm just used to hearing weird things from other times online.
All right, fair enough. You got me, but you got me. I am eating, but that's amazing.
All right, so I hope y'all are enjoying. Like I said, Discord's open, and I've got an invite out there for you in the chat room. Welcome aboard.
I'm actually waiting on an email.
All right, let's start the descent. I'm going to just do an altitude intervene. But other ways, folks, what email are we waiting on? Let me just go there.
I am waiting on an email to know if I have a new job or not.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Gets one job and another one opens up at the same time.
Right.
Nice.
Well, this one in particular is working at a convention center as a parking attendant.
Ah. Can be fun. Can
Maybe.
also be
hellish, hectic. Yeah, all
hectic
those.
will be a good word to use. I was trying to think of a word because that's kind of what we did at the airport. On top of fire and every other hat we wore. Every hat of the airport we wore.
Oh, yeah.
Because we wore just about everyone's hat.
No, I bet.
All right, but folks, if you're curious how to make a 737 descend, you have two ways to do it. That altitude intervene up there, or click descent, which puts you on this page, and then you'll see start descent or something like that. Also, many of you have troubles figuring out how do I set the transition level for descent. Click that forecast button, it'll bring you here. And you can also now request descent winds, and I believe once we get it to say load, it'll load them. Yeah, and I lied. Let me just make sure the execute button, nope. All right, well, sometimes they'll load, sometimes they won't. Boy, what a beautiful sunset. I really have not flown up here in Norway much. Kind of curious if things have calmed any up back in Copenhagen. Yep, it finally, oh no, they're still up, but the traffic levels are way down. Oh, we got a few people in Bergen. Okay, where's my airplane? Oh no, it got lost. So you going to be firing up the sim there, Mr. Duluth?
At some point, I gotta redo my trip from Birmingham to Minneapolis because I was just about to descend and my buddy called me. He says, "Hey, you want to go shopping?" And I'm like, "Yes, I need to go shopping." So
I was waiting for you to say you couldn't find the runway.
Hey, we don't talk about that anymore, okay?
That was hilarious, and it was right below you, man. I was just like, Duluth, look down.
Oh man, I looked down. I'm like, wait a minute, it is below me. I'm like, wait a minute, this isn't right.
Oh.
Now here's the cool thing, Mike. Over here in Copenhagen, where you're in Norway, right?
Yep.
Okay, so you don't need this goes out to all your. Hold on.
Should be going out to everyone.
Yeah, no. I'm just saying this goes to for those of you who are watching Mike's stream that don't know this. In the United States, VATSIM USA is experimenting with CTAF, which is real life frequencies. So, that's only in the U.S. So anybody who is not a U.S. pilot, who may be flying in the U.S., now you have to use what is called the CTAF, Common Traffic
Advisory Frequency.
Thank you. I had a brain fart there for a minute.
Hopefully not smelly.
No, it smelled real good too, by the way. Smelled like roses. Anyway, but so yeah, you have to use the CTAF. So if you don't look at the charts, or if you don't have charts, there's an easy way to do this. You can cheat, or you can go the easy man way, and in your ATC client, you can do dot CTAF, and then the name and the airport that you're going into, or coming out of, for that matter. And that will tell you what your frequency you need to broadcast on. Now, it's kind of backwards, because what they do is that they use the CTAF when there's nobody on the ground, and then when you're up in the air running around like a chicken with your head cut off, but cruise, you use the 122.8. But then but if you're out on the ground and there's air traffic control, you have to go by what the frequencies are there. Excuse me. Wow. So yeah.
I think that's going to be ending the trial here soon.
Let me look. I can tell you exactly. It was 6 months.
Oh, was it 6 months? Okay, I thought it was like June.
Months. No, it's 6 months. Hang on, let me look real quick. I have it actually bookmarked.
I can tell you too. I happen to. Every time you do a flight plan, it tells you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, here it is.
I found it. Load.
Oh, that's a new flight plan form coming.
Yeah, that too. Starting March 1st, 2024, and lasting up to 6 months. Up to 6 months.
So that could be August, September time frame.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So,
and if you really need a cheat, if you go to my.vatsim.net/pilots/AIP, you can also put in the ICAO of said airport. Say what airport are you going to, Mike? I forget. You say Copenhagen.
It's right now Echo November Bravo Romeo.
Okay, so Echo November.
Actually, they don't have it.
We say Bravo. Wait, Echo November Bravo Romeo.
Let me double check. Echo November Bravo Romeo. It may not, because that's Europe.
Yeah, it says now. Oops, the airport hasn't been inserted yet. So basically, all they're doing is they're doing it for the U.S. airports only.
Europe actually has a pretty decent system in play. When the FSSs are up, you can operate on the ground as needed until you get to 24,000. Then you would go to center. So that way you're not boggled. That's the problem back at Copenhagen. There were so many airplanes on the ground, one causing trouble. Nobody could get a clearance. Nobody could really do anything.
Really?
It just, it causes, I don't know how they were landing aircraft, but they had them lined up.
Really?
So, but if you're in the U.S. and you forget that the .CTF or CTAF works, normally the tower frequency, folks, at towered airports is the CTAF. Until you get to like Dallas, Miami, Chicago, where they have gazillion tower channels, that's when the .CTAF really helps you. Because you don't know which one they're using. It should be the runway they're on, but you never know.
Well, like for example, it says non-specific CTAF. VATS USA has many non-towered airports across the U.S.
That
Many
you
of
can
these
just find on a sectional.
Right, it's 122.9 is in such cases 122.9 is what they use.
Oh, really? Because I just go and get the C off the sectional. If you're at a
Huh.
non-controlled, it'll have a C, and that'll be whatever your that's real world common traffic.
Oh, fair enough.
All right, we're down to 14,000 already, folks.
All right, sterile cockpit. I'm gonna shut up and finish my meal. Why would you land your plane?
Let's see here. I better get caught up. Guess we ought to put the folks in their seats. I didn't realize I had some of my taxi lights on. That's why those lights were on. All right. Since we're flying a RNAV, I don't technically need to put my ILS frequency in, but I could as a backup. Or, let me just see if I can find out what the VOR is, if there is one there. Bergen? About what the? Why are there two VORs here? Just to confuse me? Oh, there we go. 1555. That should show up if the guy would type in the right frequency. There we go, FLS. We're looking at 170. So I can use that as well to help guide in. 170. 10,000 feet, lights on. I believe there's our airport right there. Okay, auto brakes. Oh, we can do this now. $130 at 4. Temperature 15, QNH 1018. Okay, brakes, let's go. We'll go southwest style and keep y'all comfortable in your seats. And our landing weight is estimated 132.8. Next page will tell the picture. All right, so VREF for us will be 147. Landing, let's see. All right, so we're looking at 142 for our landings or approach speed, 135 for landing. So that'll be pretty close to our approach. All right, and it gives you a picture about how much of the runway you'll eat up with brakes 3. We could break it up to brakes 2. Get further down, we'll go with brakes 3. And I think we got a descent. Do we? Let's go ahead, get up here, and see where we are in the descent. All right, we are final approach. Speed brakes. All right, final checks here. Speed brakes, landing gear will get down when we get closer. Minimums. Call it 400. Okay, and the minimums. $400. All right, folks, we're set up. Here we go. Ah, there's the airport right there, folks.
Thousand to go.
Those spoilers in. All right, let me call ahead. Let's see, the initial is Gilva, so we got a little bit of time. Bergen traffic, Nordic 572, approximately 10 miles from Gilva, inbound the RNIP 417. Remember, folks, maximum speed means just that. Means you don't go faster than that, but you can fly slower than that. Believe me, try slowing this plane down when you're at 220, 3 miles from a runway. It can be done. It's just not pretty. So I, on the other hand, I'm going to go ahead and get this thing slowed. 180. Okay, we got those. We'll get some flaps in here in a minute. Flaps 1. Flaps 2, flaps 5. Okay, we're level. Go ahead and set 1300. In about a mile, we'll start our descent. All right, here we go, folks. Just go ahead and get the gear down. Third notch of flaps. Okay, gears down, flaps. Let's set up speeds. Okay, flaps full. All right, folks, and Bergen traffic, Nordic 572, final 417.
1,000. 1,000 feet, stabilized, Mr. Perch, altitude set.
Flaps, spoilers, gear 3 green.
Approaching minimums. 400. 300 minimum. 200. 100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10. 80 knots.
Welcome to Bergen. That's actually a fun approach. Alright, and Bergen traffic, Nordic 572 off 17 to the gate. And I have no idea where this airline would park here.
Pick a gate, any gate.
That's what I... Alright, go, let's go.
Just go straight ahead, Mike.
I'm gonna like take in that over.
A gate.
Take this one all the way over. These turned off. PU, is it available? Alright, one of my favorite features with this plane, folks, let me get her stopped. Get her under APU. Is all the automation they've put into it. Okay, let me make sure. Okay, we're on. Feed's on. Let's go ahead and shut them down.
Shut them down, turn them down.
comes the jetway. I haven't done a thing, folks.
That's the story of your life, isn't it, Mike? You
Yeah,
haven't
pretty
done a thing?
much. I just let the plane do it all. And eventually the cargo doors, well, they're actually already open, folks. And the
Yeah, and then
airplane is unloading. Love
and
this about Zibo.
Just watch. Give it a second. Well, then again.
All right, so let me clear the board off. And folks, just clearing some things out of here. All right, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. All right, since we started the sim up wrong, instead of starting it not as an admin, I've got to get used to that more. Otherwise, the Smart Cars 3 doesn't want to start on it. Okay, so we landed 531 feet a minute according to Sim Toolkit. Gonna bring that in here. And okay. So here's our flight, 531 feet a minute. Let's see how it looked. Use some details. Said view some details. Thank you. Hour and 24-minute flight for 360 miles, 3,000 kilograms, 1.4 on the landing, 531. Actually, about right on the right speed, folks. So let's take a look at the rest of the metrics and visual. Well, folks, 1,500 feet down to runway is not bad, especially when you got 9,800 feet to work with. And you're right on the center line, 4 feet. Wow. I'm sorry, folks, that's a good landing. So metric-wise, that all looked great. All right, and I got to come off VATSIM. Let me just make sure nobody's in the pattern. That Wildman Duluth sometimes pops in.
Excuse me? I resemble that remark.
Nobody's inbound, so go ahead and disconnect. All right, and now to get out of the, I think it's automatic. Nope, still active. And you can see we still got 69% of our people on board and all the cargo's off. So all I do is go here, cancel, and then I'm going to just close the airplane up.
See, I didn't know you could look at how many people were on and off the plane. I did not know that.
Yeah, if you, as soon as they stop flashing, at least flash in sequence. More doors. I went the wrong way.
How do you check that?
Here, I'll show you. Come to weight and balance, your air side. It's the very first of 2 pages. That'll tell you where you're at down here.
That's okay. Today I learned. Okay.
That's what we try to do here at Flying with Mike.
Should be learning with Mike. Should be learning with Mike.
Yeah, really. So yeah, that's our goal here, is to help teach people some new things. A new thing about the flight sim. All right. Again, looking at it now, with it canceled, it has not pulled the jetway. Probably, oh, I've closed all the doors up, and I only do that because there was an airplane, I don't remember which one, that I didn't close the doors on, and when I did the replay, they were still open, flying through the air. So let's see if we get a replay. We cannot miss out on this sunset. That is just gorgeous. Uh-oh.
Did he just crash?
I think it might. It got me there, and I was hoping to get it flying. She crashed.
Oops.
Oh, well. Let me get a screen ready.
Get that face cam there, bud. We want to see that handsome face of yours.
I don't think so. All right,
Submit
folks.
report.
I will submit the report. That is sometimes very dicey, folks. I mean, it's getting better and better with most of my flights. Upload went successful. But, oh well, we crashed the desktop, so we won't get to see that landing again and how well or how bad it was.
We'll go for the latter. How bad it was.
Yep, we'll go with that one. All right, but
Yep.
we are going to take a break. We're going to go ahead and shut the stream down. I'm going to grab some dinner here. Then we're going to be back in Barksdale. Yeah, Barksdale Air Force Base, Louisiana. And we're going to fly the 747-200 up to Altus Air Force Base, Oklahoma.
Oklahoma.
So I hope to see you all then. Give me about an hour or so. I'm going to get some things set up to try to help speed that flight along, because sometimes the 747 can take a while to get set up. But I hope you'll be back and enjoy, and we'll see you then. So for now, y'all have a great day. God bless you all. We'll see you then, and try again on another flight.